Investing, the act of putting money into something with the hope that it will grow over time. And in anime terms, that means placing your hopes and dreams on a character to perform well in the future. If they do well, then you sound like a prophet who can tell everyone that doubted, "I told you so." But if they end up disappointing you, then your investment goes down the drain and everyone will point and laugh at you. Betting on character relevancy in an anime has been here since the dawn of time, and it's no different for BLUELOCK. You can even say part of the fun is pushing an agenda of the more underrated characters, the characters who don't get all the screen time in the world, placing your bets on them and believing in them when no one else will. And since we're finally at the U20 World Cup, I'm gonna be talking about 4 different characters I'm investing in, aka characters I think will do well even if they're on the bench right now. Starting with Kunigami Rensuke. Now, this is a character I'm sure you're all familiar with, and that's why he's first on the list. You might be wondering, why is Kunigami a character you should invest in? And it's mostly because the community opinion on this man is that he is trash. But to understand why, we need to go to the start. Kunigami was the nice guy, big bro character. A man that wanted to be a hero, and Loki got eliminated because he was the worst of the Egoist 4. And then there was the wild card, and he came back in a grand return. The story was gassing him up, calling him the perfect striker, just to still be ranked the worst of the Egoist 4. Yeah, so the standings didn't change. He was hyped as a perfect striker without any weaknesses, and then he turned into a defender. On top of having an emo personality that just made him dull, with zero explanation, by the way. We still don't have the wildcard backstory. And that's not all, folks, because the cherry on top is a Ryo's copy of Kunigami made an appearance before Kunigami himself in the U20 World Cup. Those are all the reasons why most people don't like Kunigami. In fact, he's probably one of the most wasted characters in the entire series. But this video is about investments. Where people see dirt, I see a diamond that just needs a little bit more development. They can still fix bro. Because if we look a little further, Kunigami was an integral role for the Bastard Munin team. As a striker, he occupied the box, scored goals, and during the PXG game, if he specifically wasn't locking up Shido, then Bastard 100% would have lost. So we know he can be good, he just needs time to shine. And the U20 World Cup can change that all around for him. We got his Hajime no Ippo training, and of course, the wild card. I've been waiting literal years for this. Both of those backstories can really flush out his character and make the community a lot more interested in him. I'm not gonna lie, bro really needs it. You know what's even crazier though? We haven't even seen a Kunigami's aura design. Barou got a lion, Isagi got puzzles, Bachira got whatever the hell his monster is, and Kunigami got zero motion in that department. It's low-key sad. And it's not cards. That was a Mandela effect. Bro never had that card aura. So the U20 World Cup is a perfect time to give him an aura, especially considering he was one of the main characters at the start of the series. Like at this point, I feel like Raichi gets more love than Kunigami. I want to see a scenario where we need his straight physicality, maybe him running the ones, and also taking more advantage of his ambidextrous legs and shooting, which was the whole point of his wildcard training. Because during the Ubers game, we saw none of that, and during the PXG game, we still saw none of that. In fact, the Manshine City game was the last time. His goal was 3 years ago. This video is starting to sound more like a cry for help, pleading with Kaneshiro to give him development rather than an investing video, but you guys still get the point. He fits the qualifications of being a sort of a main side character. He's underdeveloped with a lot of backstories like his training and the wild card, as well as he has a good weapon to top it off. Kunigami is a character that checks off all 3 of those boxes, and honestly, the rest of the cast can only mark a few of those, so I'm placing my hopes and dreams on bro. Now, I was debating for the second character to go for a safer choice like Barou or Shido, because you just know they're gonna get development, but that would be a little bit boring, right? So I don't know how, but I landed on Sendo instead, which might be sounding off some alarms already. Now, Sendo probably had the worst PR in all of BLUELOCK. Like, everyone just knows he's a joke. He was self-glazing to the max in front of Itoshi Sai, of all people, and then he got cooked by Sai, exposed in 4K for having his mind on different things, and then WWE face slammed into a table by Shido. All in the first minutes of his introduction, by the way. And then the U20 game, he missed a bunch of shots, got called a fraud by Sai, and then lost his job all in one day. So you can see why everyone is just disappointed in Sendo. But if there is one thing that can redeem him, and honestly has redeemed him, it has to be his goddamn 44-day training. This is single-handedly the best panel in all of BLUELOCK, because what could possibly possibly be the context for it. While others were watching TV, going for a swim, or maybe a run with the dogs, Sendo was in a Call of Duty lobbies. That amount of hustle you just gotta respect. Bro is trading his shots in a different way, which is why I'm investing in him right now. And honestly, it's more just because this is so ridiculous. Like, Kaneshiro has to put him in the match just to give us a goddamn flashback. Like, I don't even care if it doesn't result in anything. I just want bro to touch the field and explain what the hell he was doing. But trying to make sense of this, I'm assuming Sendo was training to snipe a goal like he did in Ubers versus Munchen. The popular belief is that he'll gain a Predator's Eye focusing on the goal, or maybe even take a penalty after the group stage, which is a lot more realistic for him to score a goal than subbing in and sniping one. The U20 World Cup is the biggest stage for that too, and you know the Huz will be watching. I'm telling you, Sendo is gonna put up numbers because of that. After seeing a little bit of motivation in the stands, Sendo will turn it into prime ego Jinpachi, god of football and everything. He's about to have Julian Loki shivering if he so as much had a glimpse of Kaiser's mom. I mean, this dude's genuinely gonna be scary, man. Either that or Sendo is gonna snipe the players from the stands, and considering how bad France is beating us at this moment, we might honestly need that. The potential Sendo has, and not only as a player, but just as some of the best comedy in the manga, I'm investing in him. I'm going all in. He will be different, y'all. Another player I'm big on gotta be Zantetsu. If there is one character on the list that has a chance of playing during the France match, it would definitely be him. Now, Zantetsu is kind of in this weird gray zone where people don't dislike him. He's just kind of widely agreed upon to be underrated. Out of the 3 characters so far, he's probably the least narratively important character, which is why he's been getting sidelined. To be honest, it makes sense because everyone's been getting handed 30 more levels of experience with their training, and all Zantetsu did was train the exact same thing, his speed. So no new gimmick for him, but why we're investing in him is because his speed could actually be useful against Julian Loki. Now hold on, don't jump to assumptions. There is 0 way he will win in a one-on-one, but maybe, just maybe, he has a chance in a 2-on-1 with Shigiri. I think this would be a great sub because Shigiri is even struggling with the France NPC, so maybe just someone to help him get the ball, or even just swap Zantetsu for Shigiri, who can use his fast, explosive speed to get a pass before the France NPC comes. It would probably be better to see Zantetsu and Shigiri though, because they can combo and at least attempt to fight against Loki, where Zantetsu has the ball initially and then Shigiri runs in to get a pass from him using his longer speed. We saw this combo in episode Nagi, but never in the main storyline, since they kind of serve the same purpose of speed, but this is one of the only matches where I can see them both simultaneously play. Now, I'm not saying Zantetsu is gonna save BLUELOCK and make a goal for us. I'm more just investing in his substitution for this game specifically, and him maybe getting 1 to 2 plays that'll help a lot. So we're gonna see real soon if this investment will pay off well, since we're in the France game. Kunigami's and Sendo's is more long-term, whereas this is short-term. Before we get into our last character, I have some honorable mentions for characters that it would be dumb not to invest in them. Barou and Shido are pretty much no-brainers. Everyone wants to summon them to help us against France. And if we're going over characters that aren't part of BLUELOCK 2, I think Charles is a good investment because we haven't even seen him use his contrarian passes. We can only fit 4 characters in this video though, so I try to highlight the more underrated ones rather than those characters, but maybe I'll make a part 2 so that we can go more in depth with other characters. Now for the last character, I wanted to go for a player that I think will be relevant throughout the France game since we're currently in it, and that's Yuki Miya. This investment is low-key a high-risk, high-reward gamble play, because when you have players like Shido, Barou, even Zantetsu, all these players make more sense than having Yuki Miya sub in, especially because Yuki Miya's PR is almost as bad as Sendo's. Like, I haven't seen one person actually like Yuki Miya or say, let's sub in Yuki Miya. They either think he's straight garbage or just a fraud that got exposed by Isagi, which honestly, they're not really wrong. His personality as well is a big reason why a lot of people dislike him. He's just hooting and hollering, and most of the time is self-glazing. Like, he called himself the self-proclaimed apostle of victory and Isagi's rival, which I find so funny, but most people just see him as a joke because of this. And every Yuki Miya appearance in a nutshell can be summarized by him dribbling through fodder players, everyone being surprised, shooting, and then getting it blocked. That happened on like 3 different occurrences, man, but I think as long as Yuki Miya just doesn't solo run through everything and actually works with the team, he would do okay. To be honest though, I feel like Yuki Miya would be good in this game because Bachira and Shigiri are both getting locked up. He can also help with ball keeping and winning one-on-ones. Throughout the NEL, he was kind of known as someone that can help break through, which is really what we need right now. It's kind of tough because in what world would you pick Yuki Miya over someone like Bachira, but maybe his different dribbling style can break through easier. That's why it's such a risky investment to buy into Yuki Miya. I would say though, he would probably be like Zantetsu and get a few good plays. I would even go as far as an assist, especially considering his 44-day training was one of the more interesting ones too. Bro was wielding a damn katana or something, so is he gonna turn Hugo into sashimi? The biggest reason why I chose him though is because his character is also someone that goes against Hugo's aptitude theory. Yuki Miya's whole development is even with the eyesight disability, he's still making it work even if it seems impossible to reach his dream of being the best striker. If he met Hugo on the pitch, which I think he will, I think Hugo would word for word say you're more suitable for being a model. I don't even think he would care about Yuki Miya being handicapped. So I feel like if there is any time for Yuki to shine, it would be here against Hugo and in the France game, proving his theory wrong. Then again, it's a side character going against one of the scariest new gens, so it's a very risky investment. So all 4 of the characters I listed, whether it be in this current game or in the future, I really think will do well. Obviously, there is a lot more different characters that you could invest in, so maybe a part 2 comes where I talk about those different characters, or maybe the opposite where I talk about characters I never invested in. I'm really hoping that I'm right though, and those 4 players at least get their time to shine. Remember folks, if I'm wrong though, this is an AI.